they're both in focus at the same time. Okay.
IG.
I'm gonna say this is a Twitch stream. What's up, Instagram? Twitch.tv / or backslash?
/PromMaster underscore.
PromMaster underscore.
Yeah.
So I have to catch this and pin it. Okay,
Perfect.
guys, we are doing a live stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Oh, this is in the camera now. And we wanted to say hi and tell you to come online on Twitch. This is actually our
Setup.
studio now. And this is my very good friend and co-founder of PromMaster, David Taylor.
Hey guys, it's gonna be easy, both Davids.
Yeah. So if you need some help with ChatGPT, we are looking to help you guys make workflows where you can use ChatGPT to make your work faster. And this is what we're going to do live on Twitch. So come on, say hi. And if you have questions, go ahead, and we are going to prioritize those people, answering your stuff on the live stream who is there on Twitch.
Also, just wanted to say that this is the first ever Twitch live stream I'm doing. I don't know
Same.
if you've... Yeah. So, I mean, I've done a couple... I don't know if it's good, but anyway.
That's cool, yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
So, yeah, I've done a couple live streams before with other businesses, mainly on YouTube. Yet, this is a very sort of crude, quick and dirty. Let's start testing how this works. So
We have one viewer, bro.
We have one viewer. Yeah, that's me.
No, two people said they joined.
Hi.
Oh no, they just joined the Instagram stream.
It's me. Anyway, so as I was saying, we're going to test this format out. There's gonna be probably a couple of live streams where we're testing a few things, not very consistent, but what we're trying to focus on is to make sure that we deliver value in every live stream. And all the comments and feedback are very much welcome. This is basically a new kind of content creation that we both need to learn.
Mm.
So you guys are going to be witnessing the learning process.
Yeah.
That's it from me.
Okay, so right now we are streaming and recording, so whatever we say, we can make it into long form YouTube videos and then short form videos for social media. So this is what we're doing. So David, do you have an agenda for today? How should we do this?
Yeah, so I think we should spend probably like the next 5 minutes just so we have it to have a short conversation about PromMaster, the journey so far, and because this is the first time that we are actually in front of people, right? So I'd like to have a short conversation about that, and then we should just dive into ChatGPT and start doing things.
Let's do it.
I didn't bring a specific workflows or specific agendas, but thankfully we have a very smart and robust engine that can give us a couple of ideas. So I'm not afraid of it at all.
Me neither.
Cool. So yeah, PromMaster, we've been going on for a couple months now. Right, I just checked, we have about 500 students in our system so far. So in the last 6 months, we've came out with the prompt engineering course version 1.
Yeah.
Then we went over to the prompt engineering course version 2. Now we have about 500 students, and about 60, 70 of them came to the PromMaster course. And in the last couple of weeks, I've been having conversations with our students, at least the ones that I could easily get a hold of. We do have a Discord community, but we haven't really utilized that yet, right? So we haven't really been focusing on generating a lot of content, and that is, if I'm not mistaken, going to change pretty soon.
Yeah.
Right. So what are your plans on creating content for PromMaster? Because it's not just about the course itself, right? It's about helping people get the most out of ChatGPT and large language models.
Yeah.
What are we going to do content-wise?
Well, we are going to teach them how to do that. So basically, my philosophy with online content creation and teaching is that whatever you can give away for free, you should give it away for free. And because that helps a lot of people, it helps also to position ourselves as experts in the market. And so that's what we are going to do. As much as we can teach for free, we are going to do that. So the reason why we have the course is because it comes with a support network. It comes with a certification, and that's not something that we can just give away for free. Otherwise, it would not have value, and we would be losing money delivering the service. Yeah. But live streams like this, we can do. So whatever like we have some assumptions on what we think people want to know about ChatGPT, but we don't exactly know. So maybe our assumption is right, and maybe what people want is to use ChatGPT for work so they can be more efficient, they can work faster, and maybe even with higher quality outputs. But we don't know for sure. So the content creation journey for the next few months is going to be about validating the ideas. So we are streaming live on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the link for that.
I guess youtube.com/prommaster or something. I actually had it on Safari here. Hold on. So look, if I go to YouTube, I'm gonna modify my comment.
I found it. Awesome. Got it.
Why can't I make like a title for the live?
I don't know.
Dang it. Okay. Well, yeah. So that's my initial. Yeah. This is the YouTube live. So this is my initial thoughts on the overall like top level content strategy, and then we're going to just listen to people, what they say, what they have questions about, and we're going to spend most of our time when we're making content to answer your questions. So guys on Instagram, if you have questions about using ChatGPT for work, just drop them in the comments or come on over to Twitch. Actually, we have 5 viewers now. Yeah. So I want to say hi to Twitch and YouTube, and I'm going to just leave the Instagram here as like more like a documentation, and from now on we are talking to that camera and that display. So love to see you chat. So tell us what you want to learn with ChatGPT, because we are ready. Thank you, Explorer Amobi. How do you pronounce this?
Amobi?
Amobi? Yeah.
Amobi.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with Amobi.
Yeah. So what we have ready is this little tool called ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. And we can do whatever you want us to do. So basically, give us like a problem that you're struggling with when it comes to ChatGPT, and we're going to be here live and try to solve it for you.
Okay. In the meantime, while we are waiting for the comments, I think one of the things that we could probably do is, I talk to a bunch of businesses, and most of the time writing business proposals is one of the biggest challenges, right? So first of all, I like us to explore how you can use ChatGPT to write a business proposal. Mm-hmm. And I also want to explain, before we do that, what's the thought process that goes into it. Okay. Because when you want to use ChatGPT to write a business proposal, you're not giving it like a one-shot opportunity to do the job, right? That's what most people are making a mistake when using ChatGPT, is that, hey, write me a business proposal for this, and then they're waiting for the result, right? And so let's say, write me a business proposal for graphic design services. And you can easily see what happens when you do that. So let's try it.
Write me a business.
Start with GPT 3.5 just for the shits and giggles.
Okay. So
write me a business proposal for a logo design.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. And then it writes it. Now, the problem with it is, what do you think the problem with it?
But it's not specific at all. Like even without reading it, I know that this is not tailored to any client that you would send this out to.
Do you know why that is?
Because we didn't give it any information about the company.
So let's get it tailored. Sorry, I show myself out. Anyway, so basically what happens is that ChatGPT has been trained on loads and loads of content. So it has a fairly good idea of what a business proposal looks like, what a business proposal is, and what does it contain. The problem with it is that it does not know anything about you. It does not know anything about your goals, about your target, and nothing. Which basically means that if I call you up and you have a graphic design business and ask you, hey, can you give me a proposal? If you don't ask me anything, that's basically the best thing you can give me, right?
Yeah.
So in order to make it a bit less generic, we want to provide ChatGPT with some information. But before we do that, let's start a new chat and move over to GPT-4. Yeah, and start with just the generic one. Give me a business proposal for a logo design. For those people who are not that familiar, you will see that this is now somewhat more thought through. It has a bit better structure. It also is being written a bit slower. The content is completely different, right? Because GPT-4 has been trained on a bigger data set than GPT 3.5. However, what you can also see is that it's still very generic. Now you have a good understanding of what the vanilla response to this would be.
Oh, it gives us a budget.
It does give you a budget, but based on what exactly?
Yeah.
Right? So that's mainly the problem. Now we have a
You
good...
even ask for 50% upfront.
Good job.
There we go.
Now, so as you can see, this is pretty well thought out, especially compared to the GPT 3.5. But we want to have a set of questions.
Actually, I'm gonna split the display. Oh, what is this? No. I wanna split it so it's... Oh, I don't have the magnet here. Dang it. Okay.
There you go.
Where's the other Safari tab? Oh my god. What am I doing? I wanted to somehow compare the two, but as soon as I opened it, the other one disappeared. Okay. Anyways. Now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load up the GPT. This is the 3.5, and I'm gonna load up the GPT-4. Okay. And I'm gonna move this to the left and this to the right. Oh, there we go. This is what I wanted.
Perfect. Okay. So now you can see, if you compare the two, that these are obviously the second one, the GPT-4 one, is a lot more thought out. Let me just put it. Yeah. Okay. So what we want to understand is, what's the information that GPT-4 needs in order to put this together? There are basically two ways of doing this. This is the top-down approach and the bottoms-up approach. The top-down approach would be taking a look at the vanilla proposal and saying, ask me questions that will help you customize or custom tailor the contents of this proposal. The bottoms-up approach would be just taking your current approach of how you are currently writing a business proposal and just explain it to ChatGPT. So let's start with saying, ask me a bunch of questions that will help me, that will help you customize the proposal to my business.
I think I'm gonna close this other tab. Or let me just put it like
Yeah, that's good. And just close the tab for the.
Oh, yeah, the history.
Yeah. As you can see, there are a bunch of questions here that are being generated, and each and every one of those questions will be referring to a specific aspect of the business case that we're talking about here. So if we answer all these questions, we should be able to put together a pretty well-rounded proposal, in a couple minutes, maybe? Yeah. Most of these questions, you will be answered them from the sales calls, right? So you would have a sales call with a potential customer, and you would already have the answers. In some cases, there are no information. Let's say the client has absolutely no idea about the specific time or file formats, but they do have a deadline. And you also know the context in which the logo will be used. You can know already, if you're a graphic designer, how many rounds of revisions you are basically up to. These are mainly the questions that you would already ask you, or you probably already have your own set of questions that you like to ask during the initial sales calls. So let's try to simulate the creation of this. In order to do that, we would need to ask ChatGPT to provide their own answers, which means that we're going to first give it a persona, act as a graphic designer. Your task is to answer all these questions. Invent a specific business scenario where a graphic designer is putting together a proposal based on previous conversations with a client from Incorporated. Why not? Whenever I see Acme Incorporated, the only thing I keep remembering was the Roadrunner cartoon when we were kids.
And what about it?
Well, the Coyote always bought a bunch of explosives and TNT and dynamite and everything, and they always the Coyote always bought all the stuff from Acme Incorporated.
Oh, that was the logo.
that was on the crates. Acme Incorporated. Right. Okay. So return the answers to the questions only. As you can see, ChatGPT has now started to answer its own questions. This can also help you figure out how to answer the questions if you don't have the answers yet. If you're just starting out, these set of questions will be probably very helpful to you to even think about what kind of information you need to get out of the client when you're doing the sales calls. And by looking at the sample responses, you can also understand what kind of or what's the type of responses you want to get out. So now, as you can see, it's getting very, very specific. This is basically the hallucination feature / bug of ChatGPT. And as you can see, if you prompt it right, in the right use cases, in the right scenarios, the capability of, let's say, the imagination or creativity of ChatGPT can be very useful, because it can help you come up with specific scenarios based on which you can test further. What you want to do now, let's say, some of our main competitors are Widgetco and GizmoWorks. Okay, so now we have all the questions, now we have all the answers. Now rewrite the business proposal using the information about Acme Incorporated. Make the proposal specific, convincing, short. Nah, not short. Anything else?
And fun.
And fun. And the proposal with a pun.
It says your company's name. Oh, because it's our company and we didn't provide the name.
Yeah,
of the
we didn't
design-
provide a name. So
the design company.
our design studio is your company's name. I mean, that would be actually pretty funny. Anyway, so what you can see is the proposal is currently being written based on the original responses that we got. And it's actually getting really, really specific. And here is where the whole concept of generation versus validation comes into play. This is something that we keep telling our students, that just as a couple hundred years ago, most bakers were baking every single loaf of bread by hand. Today, all the bread is being baked on an assembly line, not assembly line, in factories. And basically, engineers need to supervise the whole process of Okay, I'll accept the pun.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, so the point is, what we were saying is that you're going from being a baker to being an engineer supervising the machine that's baking thousands of breads at once. Which means that what you want to do is to kind of get used to the fact that the actual text itself is not being written by you, it's being written for you, just like as if you had an intern or an assistant who would write these up for you, and you look into it and you're like, yeah, this is not bad, I would probably want to change the pricing a bit because or let's say that the timeline to delivery, I probably don't need 4 weeks, 2 weeks is enough, so I can just, tweak it a bit. So if there are any piece of information that you feel is not right, you can just fill it out. But the point is not this. The point is the fact that you would probably start writing a business proposal once you have answers to these questions, right? To these questions. And once you have the questions, you would need to probably take out a template and write it, and it would probably take you about, let's say, half an hour to an hour at best. Mm-hmm. But now we've spent 10 minutes with writing the whole thing, and we even needed to come up with an entire business.
And we're streaming.
and we're streaming for the first time, and we're not being very good at it.
At least we're having fun.
And we have 5 viewers. I mean, 2 of them are me, but
Why, you're watching on YouTube and on Twitch?
I'm watching on YouTube and on Twitch because I don't know how the Twitch algorithm works, but I'm trying to tweak it a bit. Anyway, okay, I'm closing the YouTube one. So this is just one example of how this can work. But as you can see, this whole conversation started from a very generic one, and this is where most people just end the work.
Usually this one,
that one.
They don't even have access to GPT-4, and they think, oh, this thing is not good.
Yeah, I mean, there are like 100 million ChatGPT users, and about 4 million of them are using ChatGPT and plus, and we haven't even started working with plugins yet, which is even deeper, but that's going to be the next topic anyway. Mm-hmm. So as you can see, one-shot prompting is usually always subpar. We actually did some research on the numbers, and we found that those people who are very, very satisfied with basically there are 2 kinds of people: the ones who love ChatGPT and the ones who don't understand why anybody would love it. And so, do you know what's the main difference between the 2 people?
The first one knows how to use it. That's my assumption.
The ones who hate ChatGPT because they're disappointed, they tend to have shorter conversations. The ones who love ChatGPT tend to have longer conversations, which means that, a chain of thought is usually superior to one-shot prompting. Mm-hmm. And even here, what you can do is just refeed the conversation back on itself. So I can just ask, evaluate this business proposal from a sales development perspective and provide a critique on how to improve it to increase conversions. Well, obviously, ChatGPT will think that its own business proposal is well crafted with clear sections that outline the scope. However, from a sales development perspective, there are areas that could be optimized to increase conversions. What's important to note why this is being written is that ChatGPT has what every large language model has, which is the context window. And the context window is basically the short-term memory. So remembering specific parts of the conversation has a limit. So before the context window runs out, we only want to focus on this previous document and this response and say, now rewrite the proposal by incorporating your suggestions to improve it.
Enhanced business proposal.
It's an enhanced business proposal.
Imagine if you were to send out this.
See what happens? It started incorporating the value proposition. It's going to add the call to action, risk mitigation, all of them. So it already added the value proposition.
It's coaching itself.
It's coaching itself, yes. All you need to do is just to make sure to poke it the right way at the right times. And look, it even added the free social media branding kit as an extra gift. Who said you could do that, bro?
We don't do social media branding.
Sign within the next day and receive a 10% discount.
That's actually pretty smart.
It's actually becoming a really good proposal.
Yeah. Anybody needs this?
You know what? Time to spice up your brand. There you go. I love the... Okay, this is nice. The oven mitts I loved a bit more, but the logo, that's so cool. It belongs in your own fridge. That's, okay, we can roll with that.
Yeah.
We can roll with that. So how did you find this exercise?
I love it. And this is, I think, very helpful to people who are like, they see these, maybe they go to like, okay, this is, this is the initial one, and maybe they ask this question of like, ask me questions that will help me customize this proposal. They get these questions and then they stop and they feel overwhelmed, like there's no chance I'm answering these. So I think one of the key nuggets here was, we'll just ask ChatGPT to answer its own questions. I don't think that's something that people think about.
Also, one thing I want to do is, let's see. So we have these questions. One thing you can do is just copy it, start a new conversation, select the advanced data analysis, right? And this is where you can just upload a file, right? I'm not gonna upload a file because we just, we don't have this information. But basically what you can do is you can upload your notes from the sales calls you've done, or you can even do a transcript of a conversation you've had and recorded. And once you have that written down in a file, you can add the file and say, I've added, it's in Hungarian. I've added the transcript of my sales call with the client. Please answer these these questions below and return it in a markdown format, because why not, right? And then you can just do it. I mean, if I push enter now, it's probably going to complain that I actually didn't add the transcript. Let's just see for fun.
See what happened. Shouldn't we close the other window while it's writing?
There you go. Yeah. There you go. So it didn't provide the transcript.
Let's provide it like a random. I'm just going to provide random notes.
Okay.
10K budget needs to be done by yesterday. Needs small and big logo.
Small and big?
Yeah.
A small big.
Doesn't have branding document or any brand strategy file.
Oh, add that the CEO's cousin can do it for free. So while they have 10K budget, they're not very convinced that they should be spending on it.
I'm going to say this is a car detailing company.
Okay.
Detailing company based in LA. Anything else?
Why are they having? Why do they want a new logo? Is it a new company?
No. Old logo feels outdated.
Okay.
It's enough, right?
Well.
I forgot the name of the guy.
Well. Mr. Thales, you didn't really do a very good job of providing information on our imaginary car detailing company.
Maybe it's because I feel warm. I'm gonna turn on the AC.
Okay.
Let's see how much noise we have. So, actually, this is a good test because then I can listen to the audio back.
Yeah.
And see if we can leave the AC on while we're recording because it's getting super hot in here. How about we come up with a description of a company from using Keymate?
They may be a stakeholder in the decision-making process.
Let's throw all of these questions into Keymate and see if it can, find any company.
Yeah, okay, so let's move on to the next step, which is using Keymate. Do we have the plan set up for the Keymate account?
I think it's linked with my ChatGPT, so I guess.
Okay, let's see.
Let's give it a try. So these are the questions. Actually, maybe it's on clipboard still. Yeah. Okay.
So add a new chat. Okay, so about Keymate, the Keymate guys are basically they have created a search plugin, right? We have a partnership with them. Full disclaimer, we're also about to do a workshop for all the Keymate users. It's exclusive to Keymate.ai users. That's going to happen on the 6th of September. Basically, I think what the Keymate guys did really, really well was timing, because Bing search came out and then they turned it off. Mm-hmm. But basically Keymate does almost essentially the same thing. I actually found it a lot more reliable than what Bing search was. Yeah. So kudos to the Keymate guys. We love you guys. I think your stuff is amazing. We love it. We use it all the time. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to use the Keymate plugin in order to stop ChatGPT from hallucinating. Because at this point, we don't want to create a hypothetical imaginary scenario where we want to rely on ChatGPT's creativity. Instead, we actually want to get answers from a very specific about a very specific thing in the real world, which means that we want to use search. And if you use the Keymate plugin, ChatGPT will actually stop hallucinating because the source of the data is going to be an external source, not the whole like large language model training data. And that is going to help us a lot. So let's select a company and ask ChatGPT to look for the answers to these questions.
What company should it be? Prompt Master Incorporated?
Nah, that's too easy.
Yeah.
That's too easy. Let's have something more. I don't know. Let's have something more more well known. Make it easy for the search plugin, at least for now.
PlayStation.
PlayStation. I love it. Okay. Oopsie.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So here are the questions, but what's the... Okay, so search for information on the web about
PlayStation.
I mean, I guess they are part of like Sony.
Yeah, they are part of like Sony. And about PlayStation, about Sony's PlayStation brand, and answer these questions below. Okay.
Well, I just want to go through the question with products or services, target audience, design. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there is a good chance.
Anything else?
No, there is a chance that it might actually time out. It can happen because we are just asking a lot of questions. Let's try it and see if it times out. If it doesn't time out, good. If it does time out, we're going to reduce the number of questions we're trying to answer, and we're going to just, ask it 2-3 times over.
Okay, so what's happening now in the background is basically Keymate just took all of this information, and basically you can see that the request to Keymate.ai search is actually, the question is only Sony PlayStation brand overview. So I think one of the things that they do is they kind of simplify the request. So ChatGPT knows what to look for, and they have some other settings here. And then here is like all the results. So Wikipedia, with the full content of Wikipedia is here. The About Us of PlayStation, as you can see here. Complete marketing strategy of PlayStation, IIDE.
That's interesting, actually.
So, it's like a case study, marketing strategy of PlayStation. So actually we're going to get a lot of really interesting information of the...
And what's that?
Oh, there are some rules here, by the way, of Keymate on like how it works. Like if you decide to use search and browse, then it has to use first and then continue. And it also goes back to like use the user's knowledge base, which is something we haven't set up yet for ourselves, but this is a really cool feature of Keymate as well.
And that's one of the things that we will be covering in the Keymate exclusive workshop. So there you go. You started getting the answers.
So Sony Interactive Entertainment, which operates PlayStation brand. Can you describe your business in a few sentences? I mean, yeah, it can. So we are getting...
yeah, it can.
Yeah. Oh, and here's our sponsored message. So if you're watching this right now, go give it a try. Keymate.ai search plugin. And at the end of every single prompt, you're going to see the message for learning about advanced search and personal knowledge base with Prompt Master. And here's the link as well.
Right. So as you can see, you can use Keymate AI to answer these questions, and that does not only work for writing business proposals. basically for any business material or any work material you want to create, all you need to do is just have a set of questions. And if you have that set of questions, you can have two sources for answers. You can have a personal knowledge base, which we will cover in the workshop on how to set up on September the 6th. Or you can also do just a generic search from the web, or even you can do both, right? But you can use ChatGPT to come up with the questions, and then you can provide with unstructured data, unstructured information to get the information from the source, answer the questions, and then you can move forward. So let's say for a workflow that involves creating a business proposal from scratch, you would be using some question templates, you would be using some knowledge base, some internal documentation, some search prompts, and you might even have 2 or 3 conversations with ChatGPT. And that's basically the truth for almost any workflow. You can start with just one conversation with multiple messages. You can have multiple conversations. You want to have different data sources. You want to have a very specific use for ChatGPT itself, another very specific use for the plugin itself, and that's basically how it works. And as we move forward, as we keep doing these, we're going to start they're going to basically teach you anything we learn on this journey.
Yeah. Something that I'm looking at right now is it's smartly said, not specified for questions that is like, do you have a deadline for logo design? You don't know. So it didn't hallucinate with.
It didn't hallucinate.
But like,
exactly.
like 2 weeks from now.
And do you know why that is? It's because you actually specified a source to use for the information. So when you specify a source, basically ChatGPT, and it's probably not a scientific term, but it actually kind of turns off its role for figuring out information, right? Because now it knows it has a memory.
Yeah.
Right? Now that it has a memory, now that it has the input data, it does not have to figure things out on their own.
Yeah, and actually what we could also do is, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. What we could also do is like, give me a list of the questions that are not specified so I can send it to the client.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I don't think it's going to use the plugin now.
It's probably not.
Yeah, certainly.
It's not using the plugin. Why would it? We didn't ask.
Yeah, it doesn't need to like search any information.
Yeah.
So it's all like just to check, these questions were all answered. Design preferences were all answered, but then project specifics are not. This is the first one. Do you have a deadline for the logo design?
Yeah.
There we go. And so you can just I'll say write an email to the CEO of Sony sending these questions.
Don't send the questions. Instead, sending the questions, try to get the answers for these questions. Let's see what it does.
CEO of.
Let's give it some more leg room to work.
Okay, how about we say that the CEO of Sony is a really busy person?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much true.
Yeah. So be I hope this email finds you well. I wonder if when is it that the email like finds you well? Like, hey, you feel good? Or like
I was until this email found me. Yeah, as you can see, this is a bit too formal. I think. Very sort of lengthy, formal email, just like what the generic ChatGPT responses are. This is actually pretty interesting. I think it's one of the conversations I've had with someone a while ago was that when you're in school, the task when you have to write an essay, for example, the task is always write an essay in 1,000 words or more, right?
Yeah.
And then you get out of school, I'm out of here, versus an executive's email. And let me just see if I can find it. And it's just so, yeah, there you go. So let me just show you, right? Oh my God, I'm going on Google. I think, yeah. There you go. That's it, right? It's like when you start out in business, you always like write these very lengthy emails like, hey, just wondering if I could thoughts. And this is one thing I've learned is like my mentor, who is a very senior person in the London venture capital scene. He's around 60 years old, and the emails he's writing is just phenomenal. I've never seen him write longer than one sentence. Literally, he was introducing me some big shot VC, and he's like, "You two should talk." And there is that level of seniority when both of us were like, "Yeah, he did that, so we should talk." And then last week, he went even further and sent me a WhatsApp message about consulting, AI consulting. He's like, "I got you a customer." And then he sent me the email address of the guy. It's like, so what? Should I just email him or what? It's like, yeah, just email him. Tell him I said so. Anyway, so let's see where we're at. So we have this long ass email. So let's try to make it shorter, right? How do you make it shorter? There is this movement, was this movement a couple years ago when it was like, write an email in 5 sentences or less, right? So it's like, make sure that the email is somewhat informal but respectful, very concise and short, not longer than 5 sentences. Now it's important that ChatGPT cannot count, so it's not going to be 5 sentences, or very little chance that it's going to be actually 5 sentences. But let's see what happens. As you can see, the whole email just changed. Instead of sending the questions right away, it just asked for an opt-in.
Yeah.
Right? And it got straight to the point. And when you want to make it even shorter, oh, okay, shorter.
I wonder if it's just going to say, like, chat this week.
Shorter.
No. You're not saying this in my name. not in this tone, otherwise it's going to murder me when it takes over. Be respectful to our Lord and Savior ChatGPT, okay? PlayStation Project Query, CEO's name.
Quick questions. Chat this week. Question, chat. Okay. I think that's probably enough for the first time.
I think so too.
I think this is a really good note to end this on. We had a couple of viewers on your Instagram live. We had a couple of viewers on
Twitch and
Twitch
YouTube.
and YouTube, and I must say I had a blast.
Me too. And we have a new Twitch follower.
We have a new Twitch follower.
So,
Humble beginnings. That's
yeah.
the part I really love.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are 4 viewers here. 2 of them is you. One of them is probably our new followers. So there's one more person who is watching right now who might not be subscribed on YouTube or Twitch. So if you are, please do. If you're interested in learning more about ChatGPT, please do. I'm going to switch to the camera so you can see our.
I do not know who you are, but I will find you and I will prompt you.
Okay, now they're just going to like unsubscribe. Like I'm not going to listen.
Yeah, I know. I'm disassociating from
2
myself.
clowns.
Shit.
Okay, well, see you guys next time. We're not exactly sure when this is, but judging from my emotions right now, I think it's going to be pretty soon. And you know, thanks to one of our team members who set up this entire Twitch streaming software and hardware. So now, I think that's it. Let's wrap this up and see you guys next time.